Wrong Doors is a song that stands for one of the bad pursuits, which is the appreciation. In this video, I'm going to tell you a few stories behind how the lyrics came to be. There are a couple of things I forgot to mention, that's why I'm shooting this on a different day. First of all, in the previous video, how I wrote the music for Wrong Doors, I said that I wrote the song in 2015. I've just checked some of my old recordings, and to my surprise, I actually wrote the song in 2014. I know that this probably belongs to the previous video. We all make mistakes and we all learn. It's gonna get better from now on, I promise. Now you'll be able to hear the chorus as I wrote it originally and recorded it back in September 2014. It's gonna be really pitchy, so sorry for that. I really sucked as a singer back then, even more so than now.
Save me down, let you go. Save me, let you break me, oh God. Save me from the way that the life has got away.
Also in the previous video, how I wrote the music for Wrong Doors, which if you haven't seen so far, go check it out, you can find it here. I talked about how different Wrong Doors is now musically as opposed to its original version, but I also mentioned that the original version had different lyrics and a different title. It was called Carry On Without Me. Back in Slip of the Lip, one of the guitar players went through this really bad breakup, and as we were rehearsing the song, he asked me if it was gonna be okay for me to write the lyric about the breakup. And as I didn't have any other idea for the song, I was like, why not? And as I mentioned in the previous video, he was supposed to sing the verses and I was supposed to sing the chorus and the midsection. So we decided that both of us were going to write the words for the sections we were going to sing. After like a week or two, we presented the ideas, but his part of the lyric was a bit average. It wasn't very interesting, very poetic. Even he himself admitted that he wasn't much of a poet, so I actually ended up writing the whole lyric. You can find the original lyric here now on the screen, so if you're interested in reading it, just stop the video. And when I revisited this track for Pursuits in Life 2, I just didn't really want to have a breakup song. Breakup, it's one of the most generic topics when it comes to what majority of artists are writing songs about, besides love and relationships and sex, and and I just try to write more meaningful lyrics that are provocative or that have some deeper meaning. So I didn't really want to have a breakup song on this second album, and also as I've never really been through a really bad breakup in my life as an artist and as a performer, it was something I couldn't really relate to very much. So that's why I decided to rewrite the lyrics. And now all of the inspiration behind the actual lyrics of this song. Appreciation, praise, approval, positive evaluation of what you do. These are some of the basic needs for all of us. I believe there's an artist in each one of us. We all have a passion in life. We all have something we really love doing or creating. And when you put your whole heart and your whole soul and your whole being into creating something, and then there's no recognition, man, that sucks. I'm not saying that I write songs for the sake of getting the appreciation, but it's so discouraging when there is none. I personally feel like I'm not enough, like I'm not good enough if I don't get it. That's why I consider Wrong Doors to be the anthem of all of the artists, because I speak on behalf of all of you. The question is how to change it, and I think that we should start from ourselves. If you stumble upon anyone who you think is really great or exceptional, or you really like what he or she is doing, just compliment him. Write a positive comment on a YouTube video, send him a message, call him, tell him in person, give praise to whoever you think deserves it. Let me know in the comments whether you have given someone praise or a compliment after watching this video. How many times have you knocked on wrong doors? This is what Wrong Doors is about, and it was actually my wife who inspired me to write it. When I released my debut album, I was kind of promoting it in an old school way, writing tons of emails to companies and people. There was this one company, a really big pedal company, it's even bigger now, and I wrote directly to the CEO of the company on the Instagram. I sent him the first single from the album and told him that it could be a pretty good way to promote his products because of how unique my music is. And he wrote me, "That's seriously good stuff, we could definitely on Instagram." And I was like, great, that's awesome. A month passed by and nothing. So I reminded myself like, hi, Any updates? And I did that 4 more times and it was always seen and there was always no answer. And this basically sums up most of the promotion marketing for the first album. I guess it doesn't really matter how good you are if you don't have the numbers to back up your success. The quality of what you create is just not relevant. Anyway, at one point I was complaining about this to my wife. I was just extremely frustrated. And she told me, look, honey, you just gotta stop knocking on wrong doors. You just gotta move on. And this was such a strong idea. And that's what inspired writing my latest single, Wrong Doors. So once again, how many times have you knocked on wrong doors? Let me know in the comments. Have you ever seen someone doing literally the same work as you and getting much more praise for it? This is what the second verse after the first chorus of my latest single, Wrong Doors, is about. As an artist, it happened to me many times that there were other artists or other bands that were, in my opinion, much less original, much less interesting. The bottom line, their music just wasn't really very good. And they were getting so much attention, so much recognition, so much success. And I always wondered, why is that? And there are kind of 2 ways how to look at it. On one hand, it's just a subjective perception of reality. So it means that all of this is true in how I see the reality. Or life is simply unfair. So let me know in the comment section below which one do you think it is. If you have ever been in a similar situation, what makes someone great at something? This question comes from me not really feeling I'm a great lyricist. Here's the thing, whenever I write a lyric, I think it's perfect. I wouldn't have stopped working on it otherwise. But the process is so long and tedious that in my mind, a great lyricist is just someone who sits down and can come up with a really great lyric within like half an hour. Writing lyrics for me is like solving a puzzle. A good example of that is this song. It took me more than 3 weeks to write it, and this is actually the hardest lyric I've ever written. I wrote the first verse and I was like, this is perfect, this is so good. And for 3 weeks, I couldn't follow that up with anything. I couldn't continue the lyric. We were shopping with my wife in the grocery store. I had the phone, I was humming the melody, trying to write the lyrics down, and nothing. I just couldn't come up with anything on the same level as that first verse. It actually came to the point where I was genuinely considering changing the subject. I just thought that the whole concept of underappreciation and knocking on wrong doors is just too abstract and too hard to really capture in a meaningful lyric. So I was already thinking about different subject matters, and that's when it finally happened and I finished it. Here's the question. Does the length of the process determine how good someone is, or is it the actual quality of the result? Let me know in the comments.